Is anything left for you? I'm begging you please to hang on, hang on. I'm begging you please to hang on, hang on. Hold your head up high, hold your head up high. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. See it in your eyes. You were born to fly. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Memories can hurt you. How the words can burn you, making you feel alone, turning your heart to stone. Life can be a nightmare, leave you feeling so scared. What are you gonna do? Where are you running to? I'm begging you please to hang on, hang on. I'm begging you please to hang on, hang on. Hold your head up high, hold your head up high. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. See it in your eyes. You were born to fly. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. 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 Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. See it in your eyes. You were born to fly. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. See it in your eyes. You were born to fly. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high.
Welcome back, we're back to it. Welcome back,
gonna be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring. I got a parking spot right outside. Step into my brand new ride. All we ever get is green lights and blue skies. This is gonna be the best day ever. You got me looking so fresh. I can't get no better. Baby, I'm a T-Rex, ready to rumble, ready to flex. I'm the king of the jungle. Gonna be the best. Shake up, I got a red fruit smoothie. James Brown bumping like I'm living in a movie. Look at me, I do the cha-cha-cha. Look at me, I sing a na-na-na. Tippy-tap-tap like I'm Dick Van Dyke. Chim-chim, I need you to be by my side. Spoonful of sugar, gonna go with it. Oh baby, pass me the butter, gonna roll with it. This is gonna be the best day ever. You got me looking so fresh. I can't get no better. Baby, I'm a T-Rex, ready to rumble, ready to flex. I'm the king of the jungle. Gonna be the best. I'm flying 10 feet off the ground. You got me dancing in the clouds. It's like I'm never coming down. No, 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 no. This is gonna be the best day ever. You got me looking so fresh. I can't get no better. Baby, I'm a T-Rex, ready to rumble, ready to flex. I'm the king of the jungle. Gonna be the best.
What's up? Why? I can't hear you, Patrick. I can't hear you, buddy. You muted yourself. Damn. You messed it up. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I looked and I'm like, my light was red on you, so I'm like, your mic's live on my end.
Yo.
Oh my gosh. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Hope everyone's Saturday and/or Sunday for some of those in Australia is going well. Yeah, Matthew. Patrick's never done this before. They said your hat. Chris said your hat looks weird somehow. I'm like, no, he's just wearing it up. It's fine. He wants the mic to cover his audio.
Yeah, if I do that way, it covers the audio. So I'll take it off.
He needs a better mic. So it's all good. All right. Welcome everyone. Glad you are here, and let me do that. If you are new to the live stream or just GuyaNaCube in general, put hashtag new in the chat. We'd love to see it. Just always excited about new folks that are here. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat, but I'm sure there are some new folks out there that are just joining us for the first time. Would love to hear from you. Yes, Chewy, it's been chilly the last couple of days. That cold front came through. It's been so this morning, like before we went to the countdown, I told Patrick I had to turn off the fan above me because I'm like, I was cold, and Patrick's like, wait, you're cold? Like that never happens. Like
never ever never ever.
Also shout out to the members of GuyaNaCube. You help us do what we do here on GuyaNaCube, and so thank you very much. We appreciate it as always. If you want to learn more about becoming a member, check out the link on the screen or hit the join button down below to learn more. No commitment required, just our thanks and appreciation. If you see folks with a green name or the GuyaNaCube logo next to them, they are members of GuyaNaCube, so thank you very much. Members, hold your questions until Chatmaster C gives you the go-ahead at the halfway mark, and we will cut over to member-only chat where members and moderators can participate. For others, if you do have a burning question, Super Chats always take priority throughout the whole stream, so just make sure you type in your question when you do that. All right, let's see who is new today. Let's see here. Arif is new. Keith is new. Yeah, Keith said it's been a while since he's been on the live stream, so glad you can make it, Keith. Arsenio is new. Delaire is new to the live. Nina's new. Vaughn is new. Jennifer's new. I see a couple hashtags from Nesh and Rama. I'm assuming they're new. Rahul's new. Ben's new. Wow. Tickle Medley is new-ish. Love it. Banashri is new. Awesome. Popular.
Steve, you got it, Steve. Steve, you got it.
Peter's new to the live feed. Where's Steve? I'll give it up for the dog pound. What were you doing? I wasn't watching.
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah. Peter's new to the live stream. Let's see here. Anyone else? Deez, hello, welcome. Tushar, hello. Steve said I'm too old. Hey, you're in good company, right? We know what you're talking about. Let's see here. Christian new 28 months ago. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being a member for that long. That's amazing. All right.
Yeah,
so let's get to the rules. So questions. Get your questions. Chatmaster C is standing by to get him queued up. One time is all you need. Yeah, Gabriel's from Romania. There was someone else from Nigeria, too. It's amazing. I always get amazed by people from across the world. Newbie Eyes here. Newbie Eyes from Australia, too. So everywhere around the globe is here in the stream. So one time is all you need. Q colon in front of the question. Chatmaster C is standing by to get it queued up. We don't get to all the questions during the stream, so apologies for that. We get to as many as we can. So if we don't get to your question, apologies. Come back next time, and we'll try it again. And then at the halfway mark, we will go to the member-only chat. And then members, you'll be able to submit your questions then. So hold off members for right now. Chatmaster C will let you know. And then, Chris, I'm so old I got the Arsenio Hall reference. That's nice. And then, so members hold up. Like I said before, Super Chats take priority. So if you do have a burning question, you want to make sure we get to it, Super Chat's the way to do it. All right. With that, are you ready, Patrick?
Let's go with.
We got questions queued up, Chatmaster C. So my daughter Kennedy is standing in for Chatmaster C this morning. Thank you, Kennedy. She is queuing up all the questions. She's doing a great job. So Matthias up first, as always. Was the Power BI October 22 update video on YouTube spoken by Patrick, or am I wrong? Sounds a lot like him. Patrick,
Yes.
Were you doing something I wasn't aware of?
Oh, you were very aware.
Yeah, no, so Patrick did the September and the October video. He did the voiceover.
I will tell you, it is not easy. It is not easy. I will say this. I will record 1 million videos for a guy in the cube compared to doing that. It's not easy. It's fun, but it's not easy. Not easy.
Yeah. So I don't know if it'll be a regular monthly thing, but he did at least September and October, so we'll see. Patrick got called
Shout
out
out to Kelly K and Amanda. It's impressive what they do. It's impressive what they do. I will say that it's impressive what they do. My side cube.
Yeah. So and Patrick learned some things when it's just doing audio. It's like there there were a lot more things he had to think of on that. So
Yeah.
All right, Egbert. Viva goals versus Power BI goals now metrics. What's used within Microsoft and other companies for OKR tracking? Both something else. First off, I will say I'm biased, and I will say Power BI metrics over Viva goals. I honestly don't know anything about Viva goals myself, so and I will say the Power BI team all up uses Power BI metrics. Shocking. Microsoft's a big company. I'm sure both are getting heavily used inside of the company from different business units. So use what works for you in your business. So play around with both. Pop Eater's asking, what is an OKR? It's operational something readiness, or I'm making that up. It's like, so if you know what a KPI or key performance indicator, it got renamed to OKR and had another. You can think of it the same way. Objective and key results. There you go, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, key results. Yeah.
I knew it was, yeah. I said operational. What did I say? Operational something. I don't remember. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So OKR is a KPI. So it's similar. Little slightly different meaning. But there you go. There you go, Matthew. Thank you for that. But yeah, like use which one works for you. Try them both. See what's like. If you've got heavy Power BI operations, it may work well to use Power BI metrics, especially with Teams integration. And if you're using the mobile app, it looks great. But like I said, I haven't used Viva Goals, so I can't really speak to that. So cool. All right, and then I saw Kevin. Oh, so I guess the Viva goals versus Power BI metrics, that's technically an it depends.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I thought your look was for like, no, I'm not doing it depends. I'm like, yeah, it's an it depends.
Yeah. I went and got some fresh new ones this morning because I was totally out yesterday. So I was totally out.
All right. Kevin Arnold coming in with a big super chat. Thank you, Kevin. He said, this is from a mutual friend who learns a lot from you but cannot send cash here. They're very grateful for your live stream and videos. I love it. So I'm assuming if they can't send the items here, it probably means they're outside of the U.S. for sure. So I know some countries, like in Africa and Asia, like some of them don't, they can't actually send it on YouTube. So what did I miss? It depends. Oh my gosh, Matthew. Matthew. Indeed. So, but Kevin, thank you, and pass on our thanks as well. It's very much appreciated.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Matthew. Keeping us on our toes. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! And there goes the chat. All right, and that's going to be the theme thread. So Keith, you asked. Hopefully today's stream was going to be a great one. There you go. Mission accomplished. Gosh. Oh my gosh! All right. Oh, Matthew broke. He broke me.
Man, look, that's what I come
It's
here
a timeout
for.
for Patrick. Okay. All right. Oh, Gustavo. Where I can find documentation about Databricks Power BI connector in something about query folding. I will tell you, there's not going to be there's going to be general, if there is documentation on the Power BI side, it's going to be general documentation on just how to connect to it, right? The Databricks documentation itself may have something more regarding Power BI. I don't know what the link is off the top of my head. So in terms of the query folding, you're asking about what folds, what doesn't fold. In general, there are some general things. Thank you, Matthew. Oh my gosh. So you're not going to find. Oh my gosh, Gustavo. You're not going to find. I'm trying to keep this straight. I'm trying to go. But I've got the chat right in front of my eyes here on the camera, and it's not helping. So Gustavo, in terms of specifics about query folding, you're probably not going to find documentation on that. There's usually not specific documentation in there. As with all things like tests, you're going to see common things. There's common approaches to try and validate. Wait, why is it query folding is an it depends thing? No.
Yeah, it depends on what.
The question was documentation about query folding, and that's not an it depends.
Okay, fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough,
so there is no documentation on that part. Oh, Alex is there. All right, Alex is there. Yeah. So he's got SQL Server documented. Yeah, but you don't have Databricks documented. So where are you at, Alex? I kid. But you're not going to find specifics on that. The best thing to do is test, validate. We've got some videos on how you can tell. Chris Webb's got some great stuff also on how you can validate.
Go to the 30-day query folding challenge. Just go
do the query folding
challenge.
Yes, send me a credit card. I'll send you Patrick's credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's test, validate. Yeah. All right. Martin. Man, this chat threw me off, man. Martin, can I build a data-driven website using Power Pages and a Power BI data model or even Data Mart? All right, that's a Patrick question.
But when I think about a data-driven website, right? When I think about a data-driven website, it's all the aspects of the page. So the menus and what's being displayed. That's more of detailed type information. That's not a Power BI thing. Now, if there is some information you want to pull from the data model, you can write DAX. Against the data set, you need an XMLA endpoint to connect to it, and you can write DAX. If you're using the data mart, then you can use a SQL endpoint, and I'm no expert with Power Pages, but if this was just .NET or something like that, right, you can connect to it like you could any AS
Enough
model.
of all this talking. Let's head over to my machine.
All right.
That's Power Pages. That's all I was going to show. I don't have a demo or anything. It's a way to make web pages, right? So I think of it. I think of it like front page. It's like the new version of front page.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Right? It's Dreamweaver. I kid. But if you have the ability to run queries against the models or a SQL endpoint, yes. If not, then no. And it's not it depends. So.
Oh.
Go.
Interesting.
Go. Next.
Matthew, don't sing. Sorry. Hey, you caught it though. It's a song, Dreamweaver. It's about a horse, actually.
Yeah, I know.
About a horse.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So, did you actually answer Martin's question?
I did answer the question. I did.
You did. You told him you can use like the
I
XML
did.
endpoint and run queries.
Yes.
And,
Yes. SQL endpoint.
Good
yes.
job.
If you want to run
Good
your own
job.
queries. Yeah.
Slow down, chat.
I know what's going
And
on.
I do like the chat is picking up on the front page comment. I love that. Alan. Oh no, Power Pages is with a space. PowerPoint is the only one, only Power without a space. It's retaining that mantra or whatever. All right. And then Chris also Power BI has a space. Sorry. All right, moving on. Peter.
Thank you, Mark Walter.
SharePoint.
Thank you, Mark Walter.
No,
for
SharePoint does not
recognizing-
have a space. Sorry, but that's not a Power.
Thank you for recognizing the Power. Thank you for
The Power BI
recognizing the
yellow.
Power BI Gold Watch Band. Thank you so much, Mark
So
Walter.
and
Thank
so
you
so I've
much.
got to watch now too, and Patrick and I have a plan. We're gonna hook up at
Stay tuned.
Past Summit.
Stay tuned.
We're gonna have matching bands.
Stay tuned.
We're gonna be twinsies.
Yeah.
All right, Peter. I'm trying to build a line chart with a drill down from year all the way down to the minute. Ooh. Can you share any tricks on how to get it done?
I mean, so the thing is, right? Here's the thing. If you have a date table and you have a time table, if they're both related to wherever that metric is coming from, so let's say a fact table, and you build that in a, yes, Bernard just said it, and you build that in the drill, so I put year, quarter, month, day, minute. If you put that in it, it's going to drill down and it recognizes the filter context. Now, how performant it's going to be, how, great it's going to be, I don't know, but yeah, you could do it. Should I do a video on this? Should I do a video on this? Should I do a video on this? Maybe I'll do a video on this.
You should write it down.
I had to talk to myself about it.
You should write it down.
I should write it down. I should write it down.
Where's your whiteboard? Can you get to your whiteboard?
It's over there. I
But
don't
does
have
your
a- I don't
headset?
have a-
You're tethered. You're also tethered.
Yeah. So I'm gonna write it down over here.
So the thing I will
There you
also
go.
say though is that when it comes to date and time, hopefully those should be in different tables and not in the same table.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It should work though. It should absolutely work.
Right. Kevin said, "Write on a box." That's funny. That's
Write it
funny.
on the box.
Write it on the box. Matthias, calendar table with minutes,
No. Don't do that.
Time should have its
Don't
own
do
table.
that, Matthias.
You should have a date table and
Time
a
should
time
have its own
table.
table. Yeah.
So,
I'll do a video.
yes.
I'm gonna do a video, Peter.
Calendars.
I'll do a video.
So Podbeater said you've already did it. No, he did a video on working with time, but I don't know it was specific around the hierarchy piece.
But they're not together. They're not together. I don't have a date and a time, and then I'm not drilling. But I'll do a video on it. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you so much. I was struggling with video ideas. Much appreciated.
Yeah. And Matthias, so the way that calendar tables should not have minutes is because calendars don't actually show time. They only show days.
That's a good one. I may say that in the video.
There you go. All right.
I like it.
All right. And Matthew coming in with a question. Has it really been a whole month since he was able to join the live stream? I believe so. People missed you.
Yep.
You were
Yes,
missed.
sir. Yep.
Very much appreciate
Well,
you being
moved,
here.
Matthew.
Well, he moved
you
and
changed
he's
time zones
he's
on
got
us.
he's got some stuff going on too. Like he's busy.
Yeah.
Also,
he's
the
busy.
time
He's
zone
busy.
it's later in the day, so he's already in the middle
Yeah.
of his day by the time this comes on. So
Yeah.
he's the same time zone as you now, Patrick.
He did show up on a video though. He did show up on a
did.
video.
It was a
He
great
in
video.
The cube. Matthew
It was a
was
great
in
video.
the cube. Matthew was in the cube.
Yeah, Chewy, it's called time intelligence, and I don't think that actually works on time.
That's right.
So, yeah, there you go. All right, Aman. Now that we can edit measures in the model view, that was so amazing that you can do that now. It is, Patrick was so happy, and I'm like, wait, you
Yes.
can do that? All right.
Yes.
Does Microsoft
Yes.
need to get
Yes.
anything for Patrick this Christmas? Yes.
Two things.
Yes.
No, just one thing.
Yes.
I want to pop out the windows. I want to undock the windows in Power BI Desktop.
No, you want.
Yeah.
There's something else. There are two things. The other thing
Well, I'll never get.
no, not that
I'll
thing.
never get that one.
No, not that one. But the other thing you want for Christmas is the modeling in the web.
Yeah, all modeling in the web. That'll be there. That'll be there.
Well, I
That'll be
know,
there.
but I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
Chris.
The undocking
Chris,
is not
undocking.
Yeah, it's not coming.
Yeah, Chris.
Not by Christmas.
Yeah, Chris.
or
yeah.
at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's-
Undocking.
It's not in the release
Undocking.
wave, so Thomas dark mode. Nah, Patrick doesn't care about that. So, that's all right. Good question. All right, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing great. All right.
9 minutes.
All right, here comes a Patrick question. I have a few SharePoint lists, and I have a function to get all versions of each item. Okay. This works well, but when I publish this to Power BI Online, I can't do automatic refresh. Any idea how to avoid this? So
You talked about this somewhere.
yeah, I've talked about it several places. So when you say that you can't do automatic refresh or schedule refresh, I'm also assuming the on-demand refresh doesn't work either. And I'm going to guess that when you do this, it comes back saying that this data source is not supported for schedule refresh or for refresh or something like that. That's my
That's it.
assumption. I'm going to make an assessment. I'm going to assume that that's the problem. So let me know in the chat if I'm right. If I am right, it's because, and Alex, keep me honest here, but it's because you're doing like some custom M stuff, and that is not validating properly to allow you to do the M stuff. That is
so
not
technical.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's a dynamic source. Yeah. So it's failing on the it's not going to let you do it through schedule refresh. It's the validation on the M side that's failing. So
Okay, so how do I fix it?
fix your M.
Oh, there we go.
Fix your
Alex
M.
just
There
told
you
you
go.
how to fix it.
There you go. There you
No.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, give that a try. Nice. Alex for the win. He is our M.
Ooh.
He is our M man, bringing the magic of M to the chat. So yes, and I'll put that on screen also just for recording sake, just so you see it. Yes, amazing, excellent. All right, and then Mr.
For the win.
For the win. For the win.
For
For the win.
undocking Windows.
Ah,
It's undocking
yeah,
Windows
yeah.
for me. That's what it is for me.
So Chris coming in with a super chat for undocking Windows. I appreciate it. I will tell you that the undocking Windows fund on Guy in a Cube has zero influence over the product. So I'm just going to say that. You have better luck voting it up in ideas.powerbi.com than dropping it
We
in
got funding now.
our fund
We
bucket.
got funding. We
We appreciate it,
We got funding.
but get the budget two at a time. Yeah, $2 at a time for the undocking Windows fund. At some point, that will be enough to actually fund a PM to go spec it up.
Yeah. To spec it. Just to
spec it. Yeah. All right. But again, we have zero influence on that. So. All right, Daler. How would you recommend multi-stage data flow automated refresh orchestration? That is challenging.
So I can't refresh data flows just from a REST API?
You can. So you'd have to.
You can.
So there is, and I need to play around with it, but I thought like so if you're doing linked data flows, it should trigger in certain conditions, correct? I want to say yes to that.
I don't know.
But like if
I
one
don't know the answer to
fails,
that.
then the whole thing fails, and it's not going to handle that gracefully. It's a linked data flow at that point. So at that point, you'd have to refresh them one after another and automate that. Same workspace, it'll trigger the refresh for linked, but if you're going across workspaces, it won't. So at that point, you've got to do it through APIs and use something that does the orchestration, so like Azure Data Factory or something of that nature. That's going to PowerShell, something. So you got to account for if it failed and then retry and then go forth. And so that's just general orchestration. Could you do that with a notebook? Maybe. If you want to go that way.
You could. Because you can call PowerShell from a notebook.
Alex also,
Yeah,
100%
you
Power Automate. Yeah. Power
Yeah.
Automate for the win. So I always forget about Power Automate. I need that. Power Automate's incredible. Power Automate's incredible. Look at that, Mark. Mark coming in. Where'd it go?
Contributing.
Yeah, but it like
See?
disappeared.
The undocking fund. The undocking fund is getting bigger. It's getting bigger.
I don't
$21.99.
I know. $21.99. Why? I don't understand. Oh, that's because it was. That's how fast the chat is going. I couldn't find it.
The chat is crazy
Mark,
today.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll get that PM specking it in no time.
Yeah. $21.99, my friend.
Yeah, and Chris saying he's got to explore the Pi tabular thing. Chris mentioned that to us as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
That won't help you with data flows, though, will it? I don't think so. Kevin said he needs to track that now.
No.
No. The
undocking fund.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All that'll just go to.
Yeah. Why? All right. Let's see here.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, Chris said it could. PyTabular could do data flows. Nice. All right.
I don't know anything about PyTabular.
No, I know. He sent us an email.
I know.
Go look
I
at
got it. I marked it to read.
All right.
Important to read.
All right, Peter. We got 4 minutes coming up on the clock. Oh, Wyatt. Wow. Coming in with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much.
I don't get one. I hope I don't get one.
Patrick might get one. Chatmaster C may get one too. Ike Ohio got a membership. Toma got a membership. Keo, Candace, Alex, Jadwiga got a membership. Nibosha,
Ian, Michael.
Hashi, Ian Pike. Ian, you're here, man. How you doing, Ian?
Thank you so much.
It's been a while. Yeah. Michael Gowan, thank you, Wyatt. Very much appreciated. Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, that updated. That's interesting.
What?
Huh? Oh my, it's not important. All right. Peter, that's amazing. Thank you, Wyatt. All right, Peter, is there a way to use the API PowerShell to get lineage of all columns used by various linked reports? Ugh. Ideas to review needed columns of impact. Yeah, I get what. It's not going to be a good way to do that, because from an API perspective, you're not going to get the definition of the report, which means you can't see what the report's using in that sense. So you could use like scanner API and or things of that nature, and or XML endpoint to look at the model, but you're not going to see what's using it though, and that's going to be the rub. Now there are some tools out there. Stephanie Bruno's tool, I forget what it's. Always forget the name. And then I think Reza's got a tool as well. There's I think Power BI helpers out there where it can actually go through and look at it in the context of a single report. To look at unused columns, but data field finder, Johnny said that.
What about Purview?
I mean,
Can I use Purview for this?
So the thing with Purview, and I don't know the answer to this, so you did a video with Buck. Did you cover this part?
It grabs the schema. So it grabs the
schema, but does it look at the report and look at what the report is referencing? And I don't think it does that.
Yeah,
that's the rub. That's what everyone wants, right? Like, so that's the challenge. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm almost gonna say it doesn't.
I don't think it goes that far.
And the scanner API doesn't go that far. You're right, Matthew. Yeah, because that's all it's using.
Yeah.
So the answer is
because it's just a data set level. It's at the data set level, not the column level. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No. And Alex brings up a good point. What does used mean? So I'm assuming like if you have a visual referencing the column, like you want to see, you're looking at the lineage impact, and so.
Yeah.
And so the lineage inside of Power BI today will show you a report referencing a data set, but it doesn't tell you like at the column level. So
what about there's a new tool that somebody wrote? I think it's called Measure Killer, but it looks
aggressive.
at yeah, that's what it's called, and it does I think it looks at more than just measures, and it looks across the entire model. I have to look that up. I think Reed Havens had him on his channel, a live stream or something. I have to look it up. I wrote it down. Measure Killer.
All right, we are at time. Chatmaster C says Kennedy is clearing the queue. So members, get your questions in. That is your green light to get questions in. So members, we are going to member-only chat, so only members and moderators can communicate in the chat. Everyone else will still be able to watch the stream and learn all the great things and be entertained, but you won't be able to participate in the chat. If we didn't get to your question, I apologize. Come back next time. If you still have a burning question and we didn't get to it, be sure to use the super chat. That will do what?
Dang it. We missed a question that I wanted to but it's okay. Let's keep going.
I'm sorry. You need to tell me about
I know.
You need to
I should've said
communicate
it faster.
Patrick. You need to communicate.
I know. It was a good question, too.
Gosh.
It wasn't
All
really a technical question either.
All right, so let's cut over to member-only chats. Remember, still put Q colon in front of the question. Chatmaster C will get it lined up. There we go. Keith, you are so welcome. Everyone else, yeah, welcome. All right, here we go. Q is cleared, so get your questions in. It's going to get queued up. One of the benefits of being a member at the visitor or producer tier is to pre-submit your questions, and we do have some pre-submitted questions today. So the first one from Anka is, I'm developing Power BI. Was it the same one? Oh, yeah, it's the same question. So I'm developing Power BI reports and then using Power BI embedded AppOwn's data to deliver the content to external, to my organization users. These external users are providing me with some reference documents like a PDF, and I need to reference in my reports. Point them for viewing purposes. The only common space I have is the workspace. Placing these documents on one of my SharePoint sites is not an option since they won't have access to that space. What are my options? So I am going to say it depends. But a Power BI workspace, or the Power BI workspace, is not one of the options. That one is for sure. But in terms of where it is, that's where it depends. And so you can leverage anything that you could potentially leverage that would give them access to those PDF files. So like Azure Data Lake storage, it could be, like OneDrive that potentially has public access. Although I don't know if you can do that with OneDrive. So maybe like a Dropbox or Google Drive or basically any public store. It could be a website also where you've got that listed. Now the challenge there though is going to be permissions, right? And so like what I'm thinking initially is like you just have them in like Azure Data Lake storage, and like anyone that hits the URL for that doc can get to it. But do you need to lock that down? Like you don't want that just anonymous access. And so you're gonna have to think about how you can handle that through whatever store that you're using for the files. And then I saw someone mention it, Chris mentioned it, have a table in the report that's got the URL to the file, or you can do a measure that builds out the URL to the file based on the file reference in some table that's referencing it. So that's where you're going to end up doing that. Matthew, thank you so much for being here, man. I hope the family is well. Yeah, you got to handle permissions, right? So when they go to hit that URL, how are they going to get access to it? Now, you could serve it up through the application. There's a way you could probably do that from a code perspective, for sure. And so look at that, how you would accomplish it through a web application perspective. You're already doing embedding, so you're writing code for that. And so serve up the file through the web application. And then in Power BI, have a URL to your application that's serving up the file, and then the web application handles that effectively. Yeah. So do it through code. Do it through code. You're already there. But Power BI Workspace is not going to help you on that front. So you got to get to some other access and then do it through code through your web app, and then serve it up there from. So if they hit the web page, you're going to be you're already authenticated to the web app, so you're good to go. And then if someone else hits it, then and then use like a service principal of some kind to get to the file from the web application, and then you'll be good.
Yep.
Cool. All right. All right. Hopefully that helps you, Anka. I hope. All right. Donald had a super chat. Where'd it go? All right. We do have 2 more members submitted questions, but we'll go with Donald's. It was a super chat. It's taking priority. Donald says, starting to test DAX measures with DAX Studio. Oh, I love that. That is fun. That's fun for us. Are there any automated test frameworks out there that I don't know about?
So there's one thing that I'd like to show, and I think Alex mentioned it in the chat. I don't know if you all are using it, but let's head over to my laptop.
All right.
Yeah. So when you get your query there, and by default you hit the home tab, but if you click on advanced, you see right at the top. Oh, am I zooming?
Oh no, zoom it fail.
Yeah, but right here at the top it says run benchmark. So you put your query in. If you click it, then you could tell it how you want to run it, with a cold cache or a warm cache. You could try that. You know, I don't know if any other frameworks. I think Alex mentioned that in the chat, but you could try that, and it'll run those queries. You know, based on the settings, the configuration you provide here. It's pretty good too. So
another option. So this is an it depends, right? So that's one option.
Yeah.
Another option would be you can absolutely write up like a unit test of some kind if you know what the measures are against the XMLA endpoint, and then just go run those queries from an automated perspective, and then see what's going. And then also, you know, pull up a trace at the same time through XMLA endpoint and go see what the results are.
That's a good one. You should do a video on that.
Absolutely automate that. Yeah, no one's
You should do a video on that.
No one's going to watch that. That's a Patrick video, not
I bet you Donald
video.
would watch it. I bet you
Donald would watch that. That's why it's a Patrick video.
That is totally.
That's a Patrick video. It's not an Adam video. Because no one's gonna watch it, so that's a Patrick video. Yeah, people in the chat, you are biased. Yes, you will watch that video. Most people will not watch that video.
So like concurrent unit tests for more than one DAX query or a single DAX query?
We'll start with one DAX query.
Am I gonna? Yeah.
And then you can expand on that. Yeah, Chris. I won't watch a Patrick video. Adam makes the videos that people watch. Patrick makes the videos that people need.
Absolutely need. That's why nobody watches them.
But when they need them, they watch them. So, all right. Good luck, Donald. Hopefully that helps. All right. Next pre-submitted question. So I have two. This is from John. I have two tables that are summary tables of created orders and canceled orders. He sent us a model diagram too, and there was a many-to-many relationship between these two tables, and they're grouped by month and day. I need to subtract the created from the canceled by month to show net orders. In SQL, I do this with a select statement, and then join the two tables. Is there a Power BI equivalent? I've been looking at related table and lookup value functions. No luck. Here's the DAX I used.
To create the table. Here's the DAX he used to create the table. Yeah. You didn't finish it. I was waiting for you to say that part.
To create the tables. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. I would say it's not a DAX problem. It's more of, Johnny, you're right. And I'll show you what I did to solve this problem. This is more of a modeling problem, though, to be honest with you, because you're creating a table using DAX over a table that's already in the model. Is there any way that I could do this against that table? I don't have that table, so I don't know what the structure of that table is, so I can't solve the problem based on that. But that's where I would go first. This is more of a modeling thing and less of a DAX thing. But if you want to use your structure, it's exactly what Johnny said. Let's head over to my laptop. Let me show you. So I simulated what he had, and I created, and I'm sorry, Zoom, it's not working, but I can go in, right? I can zoom in, yeah. And so I created a created table and a cancel table, just like he had, and I created a calendar, and I related both of those to my calendar table. And then what I did was I created two measures, one for canceled orders and one for created orders. And then I created another measure that gave me the difference between the two. And then if you can see, I put those in a single table right here, and then you could see canceled was 8, created was 5, and I had a -3. So 5 minus 8 is a -3, and it's pretty simple. I will save this and send this to you in a email so you can have a copy of this. But that's it. Pretty simple.
Love it. Yes, and Chris, you are absolutely singing my song here. Like, pretty common, really. If the DAX is hard, it's likely a modeling problem. Yep. If you're overcomplicating your DAX, chances are your model's not. Chances are you may have an ugly baby, right? Yep. And so fix the data model, and then your DAX can get simpler, hopefully. Usually.
Yep.
Usually. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so last pre-submitted question. This one's from Bob. Yeah. In Power BI report server, how can I cross-report drill through without opening a new tab or set up a button? So remember, keep in context, it's Power BI report server. Or set up a button with URL action that opens the page in the same tab. I've tried a number of ideas, including a video that Patrick did. Patrick did not do the video in the context of Power BI report server. No matter how I do it, I get a new tab or window. Even the back button trick for cross-report drill through does the same thing. If a user's going back and forth between reports, they end up with multiple copies of the page. This leads to unhappy users. I get it. It's not ideal. But there's no way to do that in Power BI. It's going to open up a new page. Sorry.
Yep.
There's no way to actually do that. So
sorry.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry.
Unfortunate. So that was a quick answer. Mark, you are indeed no. Mark, you're right on time. You're not late. You're right on time. Wait. So Mark said +1 to Donald. Donald said +1 to James. What did James say? I've got to follow the thread. What did James say? What did James say? Oh, if Dax is hard, you probably don't speak Italian. I love that. And Alex, can we throw GPT-3 at it? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, Christian, the cross-report drill it's basically just a link to another page, and so it gets complicated. There are potentially ways to do it with like URL customization, but it's going to be, it's still going to open it up in a new window. So, all right, my watch is a little annoying right now.
New window blank.
Yeah, but you can't do that on
the. Yeah. You can't do that.
It doesn't work.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. So.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Those were the pre-submitted questions. Let's go plus Donald's question. So Donald, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah.
Let's go to the queue. Let's see. X-axis has text and Y-axis has numerical value, which should not be aggregated. It should be individual points. How can we achieve that in a scatter plot? Do I have a scatter plot available to me? I do not readily have a scatter plot. So hang on a second. So X-axis has text, right? Y-axis has numerical value, but can you change it to the? Well, so why wouldn't you want it aggregated? Interesting. Let's see here. Let me try. Let's try this real quick. So I'm gonna do it. Let's go over to my machine.
I gotta be honest. I never use the scatter plot.
Patrick's more of a data model guy than a. All right, so let me do. We're gonna do that on the y-axis. We're gonna do date time. Where's my calendar table? Let's do year. Do that on the x-axis. So there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Single point. There you go. We're done. It's not aggregated. What are we talking about? What you talking about? So when you say aggregated, though, what do you mean by? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean, Mina. Like specifically, like what's the problem? It has a numerical value, which I just did. So total freight is a numerical value, which should not be aggregated. But I just dropped it in. Look at my screen, Patrick. It didn't aggregate it. So my thing though is that my x-axis, it has multiple points, so it's aggregate. So I guess you're saying for the year 2012, it is aggregating for 2012, and you're saying you don't want that aggregated? I don't understand. Let's try customer name or something for the x-axis. Okay. Right-click the field. Do not summarize. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, but that's gonna. I don't even have that on there. So you could do it on the model side, but that's going to be for the whole model. I don't necessarily want that. Well, and then you could do it for a measure. Yeah. So I need more. Yeah, if it's a non-additive number,
so,
I need more info.
If I like try to, yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
Right.
Let me see.
You're right, Belinda.
Yeah, if I try to bring a value to my x-axis that's text, I can't.
Well, I just did.
Look at my screen.
The x-axis has text on it.
Oh,
That's the name.
does the
customer name.
y-axis also have
The
text?
y-axis does not.
Does the y? Yeah.
But that's not what they
Yeah,
asked. That's not what they asked. Because they said it's being summarized on the y-axis, and it's a numerical value. They said the y-axis has a numerical value and should not be aggregated.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to have on both the x and the y text.
That's not what this says. They're saying they just don't want it aggregated. So for example here, if I go back to year, we'll move on in a second. I need more. Oh, no, that was not a good. That was not good. So let's do total freight, and they want year.
Yes.
So the idea here is no. So the thing is we're aggregating for 2012. They don't want it aggregated there.
They don't want it. They want in each individual item. Can't do that.
Can't do it with a measure. So if it was a regular field, you could do the don't summarize, and then
It's
might.
gonna break when you do that.
I know you're gonna have way
It'll
too
break.
many
I
data
just tried
points.
it.
Yeah.
I just tried it. It broke.
It'll break
It
also,
broke.
but also you risk the chance of it having way too many data points, and you're gonna lose stuff anyway. So like there's
somebody just use Python or R to do it.
Yeah.
You probably can do it that way.
You can do Python visual, yeah. But then you got to use a personal gateway to
Look,
refresh.
even Fernando just said R. You can use Python or R. Well, you got to use personal gateway, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
and so
All right.
this is what I'm. So Paul made the great point. Why would I want to put text on the y-axis?
Don't
though?
want to put text on. That was not in the question. I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
Why are we talking about text on the y-axis? I don't know why we're talking about that. That wasn't in the question. Yeah,
And the
Deneb or
y-axis has
Charticulator may be
numerical
able to help
value.
you as well.
It should be individual point. Okay.
All right, moving on. So try Deneb, try Charticulator. Those could help you as well. R or Python. Nobody's putting text on the y-axis. Yes, Chris. That was not in the question. I don't know where that came from. Oh my gosh. All right. Chris. Chris has a question. There's a dude on LinkedIn running around demanding that matrix totals be the sum of row columns regardless of the measure additivity. This seems dumb to me. What am I missing? Why is it not dumb? Wait a second. Demanding matrix total. So I remember some email chain about total. Like, I don't know. No, there was a Teams chat about this. And it was basically like, yeah, no, it's not. It's wrong. So matrix totals be the sum of the row columns regardless of the measure additivity.
I mean, the measure is going to control what the total is. And so
Well, but there's sometimes
Alberto
in a matrix or a table, sometimes, so the totals row is actually calculated separately from the individual cells.
Yes.
And so sometimes you have to account for that.
Yeah,
And there's a way you
just did a
can.
video explaining
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He explained why those totals look different. It's because of
Yes.
your measures.
Yeah, it's
And
because of the measure.
Yeah.
So account for that in the measure, and I've done that before too, where there's like, for the total line, it's going to run a certain aggregation.
Yeah, you gotta watch that video. I watched that video.
Yes.
It's about 29 minutes. You gotta
Yes.
watch that video.
Watch the
and you
video.
absolutely understand why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, they just don't know what they're talking about. I don't know who
they
wrote
just
that,
don't know what
but
they're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. Point him to Marco and Alberto's video.
Yeah.
So, all right, Johnny. How you doing, Johnny? One day, Johnny, you and I
Johnny?
will actually get to meet in person. Maybe at Bits. Are mobile reports underrated? Do you see them out in the wild much doing
Yes.
cat things? Yes, we do.
Yes.
There's a
yes,
lot of excitement
we do.
over mobile. A lot of enterprise organizations are all about, especially executives, are all about mobile.
Man, we had an escalation. We had a whole thing. Can't talk about it, but they were mad because something happened with the mobile report. Because that's all they use. That's all
Yeah.
they use are mobile reports. So yeah.
Yeah, mobile's great. Yep. Yep. Cool. Oh, Scott dropping the link. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. I love having other cat folks in the chat. It's like it's the team coming together. That's what I love about the cat team. All right, Christian. What is your view on the new Twitter owner? I'm not going to comment on that. I use Twitter. I like Twitter. I don't care about that.
I love Twitter.
I don't care about that. 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 I'm not going to comment.
Hopefully it doesn't change. So that's what I'll say.
It's the internet. The only consistent thing there is change. So things rise, things fall. Whatever. Twitter's there. I use Twitter. Twitter's my primary social media. So, like, if you want to get a hold of me, don't ping me on LinkedIn. Ping me on Twitter. I look at LinkedIn, but it's occasional. Mika, some of my users are trying to query my data set with DAX via the REST API. So they're doing the execute queries API. Okay. The data set has RLS, and their queries are not going through, not authorized, not supported. Do we support RLS through execute queries?
I don't know. I haven't tried that.
I want to say that there's an issue with RLS. And I want to say that it wasn't documented at first, but then it was documented. Let's look for execute queries. Limitations. Let's see. There's a limitations section in the docs. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. Service principals are not. There's an issue with service principals. Service principals are not supported for data sets with RLS. Bam. In the docs. Bam. Hang on.
Yeah, but it's not, they didn't say service principals.
No. Well, but I'm assuming they're using service principals.
They
Or
said
with
my users are
SSO
trying to
enabled.
query
Or with SSO enabled. Or with SSO enabled. Service principals are not.
What is that?
supported.
But if I'm just trying to query the data set with DAX, so if I say, hey, issue a query using the REST API, if I call it using PowerShell, just me, signed in. If I log in, Power BI, I sign in, I issue that statement, it's going to run it as me, right?
Yes. You're not using a service principal in that scenario.
No. So when I run it, that's what I'm assuming what Mike is saying here. So when I run it, it returns nothing. They get not authorized.
So there's another
So is that
caveat
not
there. So
supported?
it says service principals aren't supported for data sets with RLS or if
Yeah.
SSO is enabled.
Well, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's just
Well,
my
then-
Power BI
then
data
it'll
set
work.
with RLS on it.
Then it'll work.
They're saying no, it's not working.
No. Yeah, they didn't give me all the info though. So Micah, are you using either SSO or service principal? If the answer is yes to either one of those, it's not supported. And that's in, yep, they're using
They
service
are
principal.
using service principle.
See?
Yeah.
In the docs. There you go. Bam. Documentation for the win. Documentation for the win. And then Mark coming in is like, am I allowed to say do RLS in DW? That's assuming, so they're using a service principal for it, which means there's no single sign-on, which means that's not going to work. Right?
Not gonna work. Not gonna work.
That would only work if they're doing
if you do
SSO.
RLS in the DW, if you do RLS in the DW, that means you're using direct query. Is your DW fast enough to handle all that?
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Cool. Let's go. We got 6 minutes. Let's go. All right. Paul, coming in with a question. Hope you're doing well, Paul.
Yeah.
In ISV embedded solutions offered to private customers, we're doing Power BI embedded, is it safe from multiple tenants and customers to share data stored in a single database delineated with RLS? It depends.
If you trust it.
Yeah, so
I was not gonna say it depends.
all right, so it depends. So so it depends on there's different approaches you could take for this, right? And so one approach you can take, if you're coding the application and you're coding the database and they're coming from different tenants you could have a single SQL data source and a single data set and use RLS and segment it out based on those permissions. It's a viable approach. As long as your code is good. Like, do you trust your code? And do you trust the data that's represented underneath? What Patrick said. Do you trust it? Do you trust it? Now, I will also say, like, if someone like audits your implementation, like they may want it. Like, if I'm thinking of someone like in a financial sector, like they're not going to go for that, right? And so they're going to want it actually separated out and more delineated. And so then you have different data sets on that approach, and then route them accordingly. So, yeah. So Chris, yeah, the co-located customer data sounds sketchy. That's where the it depends comes in. So like I can guarantee you, like a financial sector or healthcare would not go for that. But
you see
yeah.
what Paul's follow-up is? Are people doing it? Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Paul. Yes, I've talked to several.
Yeah.
It's crazy too, because I've talked to one particular Adam Sand Financial customer, and they're doing it. They're absolutely doing it, right? But it's
they're not
sketchy,
the big bank
somebody
name
said that in
though. The
comments.
big bank name is not doing that. Smaller banks maybe.
But
Or smaller groups. So people do it. It's just a question of do we trust it, and do your customers trust it? There's a lot of security and just compliance things around that. So you just got to be careful with it. You could get into trouble if something's not right, or we see a lot of these data breach things. If you miss something and then something gets exposed, and so it's always a risk.
Is Sarbanes-Oxley still a thing?
What is that?
So when I worked for a financial company in Sarbanes-SOX, we used to have these SOX audits, and they would send this person
SOX.
to come.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a thing.
So,
that's a thing.
Yes. So you gotta be careful.
Chris, are things doing insert bad thing here? Yes, SOX is absolutely still a thing. Yes,
I don't know.
Yes, yeah. So, Paul,
like,
thank you
yes,
for the
of course,
super
Patrick,
chat.
it's still a thing.
Appreciate the super or the super chat. Thank you. Or the super what is that? Whatever it is. It's not chat, but it's a
Everybody's
sticker.
like, yeah, it's stupid though. Stupid.
Kevin, what can we make Stream Elements robot do? I don't know. Put bang command and see what it lets you do. Paul also asking if we're both going to be at PASS. I don't know what DC Summit is. I'm assuming you mean Data Community Summit. That's what it is.
Data community.
Yeah. Yes. I'm like, we're not going to Washington DC, but yes, we are going to be at PASS in a few weeks in Seattle. So hopefully we will see you there.
I hope to see
we
many
will be
people
there.
there.
That's my last
Hope to
trip
see
of the
many
year.
people there.
It's my last trip of the year. I'm so happy.
Not me.
It's not Patrick's
Not me.
last trip of the year. All right. Let's see. We got 2 minutes, and we got 2 more questions in the queue. Let's see if we can do this. All right. Are there times conditions where data as shown in a data flow will be different than when it's pulled in Power BI Desktop from a data flow? Yes, I can think of one right off the top of my head. I'm going to let Patrick noodle on that for a second. Yeah, Chris, we should. We should.
Yeah, Chris, let's meet up.
Paul.
Yeah.
There will be many. There's
depends
going to
on
be
the
more than
refresh,
2
right?
beers, Paul. I'm going to say that right now.
I'm only drinking one. I'm only
Yeah,
drinking one.
sure.
I'm only drinking one beer.
Just
One
like in
beer.
Belgium.
I would say I don't know. I don't know.
I would say yes.
Keep going.
I
So
can think of a
answer this.
scenario
Yeah.
right off the top of my head where you would see this. So one is you go look at the data flow to validate what the data is. Then you go to Power BI Desktop, and in between that time, it refreshed.
Oh, yeah.
Data could change.
Yeah.
Data could
Because
change.
you got to refresh them both. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other thing is, did you refresh what's in Power BI Desktop? So we refreshed on the data flow side, but now the data set's out of sync with that. It needs to be refreshed again for it to get the latest data.
God,
So,
I really need to start doing some stuff with data flows.
yep. So now everyone's doing the commands for the thing. So yeah, Alan, that there is a possibility it could be different. Just it depends. It depends. Yeah, it's called a race condition. Yeah, as opposed to a split brain. Split brain is an actual thing. Fernando, I loved looking at people hard at work in Belgium. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Last question. Let's get it in. I know we're at time, but Brenda. I have a complicated data model in my project. Well, simplify it. There you go. That's the answer. Finding it more difficult to understand. What's the right approach to learn a data model? Ideally, I would say that someone documented it as they were creating it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know what? No, they didn't. No. You know what? I would start trying to find the logical sections of the data model, because there's often this piece is going to answer these questions, this piece is going to answer these questions. So I use the model view and I create multiple different views of that data model, focusing in on the particular pieces of it and start becoming familiar with it, and then see if there's any consolidation or if I can simplify it. That's what I would do.
I have a better answer. And I'm surprised you didn't mention this. Let's go over to my machine. So in the data model explorer, guess what you can do? I could create another tab here, maybe pull in a fact table.
You weren't
did you say? I wasn't listening.
You weren't paying attention. You wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't listening to Patrick.
You weren't paying
Because I had the idea as you were talking. I'm like, wait, I can use data model. So I was thinking about it. I stopped listening to you. Sorry. Did you say that?
That's what he said.
Did you say that?
Yes, I said that.
Oh, you're really smart, Patrick. You're really smart, Patrick. This is why we keep you around. Woo. This happens more than you would realize. It goes both ways also. Like, this time Patrick doesn't listen to me, I'm like, dude, I just said that. Oh, when we were at Power Platform Conference, that happened so many times. Oh.
Captain Obvious over here. Captain Obvious.
Chris flips table over.
And you were so excited. I'm
like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't mention this. And Patrick's like, all right, what do you got? No, that's what I said. Oh, bother. Oh, bother. All right.
It's okay.
See,
it's okay.
and Keith was asking in the beginning of the stream, I hope this one's a good one. I'm like, of course it's going to be a good one. It's always a good end. All right. All right, everyone. We are at the end. Thank God. We are at the end of the stream. Whew. Gotta take this. Oh, we're not even. They can't even see us. We were like all broken. Yeah. All right. Model view, and different tabs. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Paul coming in with a question right at the end. Sorry, Paul. We didn't get to it. We're ending the stream. We're at the end. Come back next time. We'll get it. We'll get it that time. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Have a great week ahead of you, and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah.